Hello, Eustace. How's the beach today? I'm glad that he's decided to migrate back over to this side because if you watched last episode, you'll know that he kept getting stuck in the boats. And I'm happy to report Eustace has been very good and he hasn't been stuck in the boat since I let him free. So that is very exciting. Anyway, I just wanted to start today's episode over here on the island because we are not going to be working on the island today. I know. We've all grown very fond of the island and all of our little builds on here, but I have a really cool idea for another build that has actually been a really long time coming, and I'm happy that I'm going to be sharing it with you guys. But I thought at the start, I would quickly recap kind of what we have done on the island because I'd say we're pretty much done. I have done everything and more even that I wanted to do on the island in the first place, so I'm very happy with how it's come out. I hope you guys have enjoyed how it's come out. It just feels, yeah, love it. These three little buildings don't have anything in them. I might come back here off camera and do them and then just update you guys on what's in there as well. The area that Muse has claimed, she hasn't done anything with it yet, so that will also be another reason to come back to the island. But why don't we just do one last little walkthrough of this place just because I think it's so cute. I love it. Also, this courtyard, I'm so happy with how it came out. I know it's pretty simple, but it just feels so nice. Down here, the little throne room, this bedroom. I really like how this wall came out as well, actually. I was very happy with this. And then, yes, of course, our amazing balcony here. Woo. But anyway, guys, my name is Bman. Welcome to another episode here in Wondermere on the Shroomhearth SMP server. In fact, like I said, we actually aren't even going to be staying in Wondermere. We are going to be going to the Living Island. So I will meet you over there. See you there, Eustace. Actually, you're not coming with me. You live on the island. Okay, so we're here on the Living Island. If you don't remember, the Living Island is kind of like our huge communal space on this big mushroom island. It has things like our World Hall, our Industrial District, our Games District, our main street with all of our bases, embassies, and then that big long bridge that connects us to the mainland. But I'm here in the area of the Living Island where it's kind of been set aside for end game style mansions that we can build for ourselves. And currently, out of everyone on the server, there's only one other one here, and it's this one. So this one belongs to Needle Archer. It was actually built by me. It was a Christmas gift. The way that we do Christmas on the server is awesome. We do a Secret Santa, but you don't give items or anything. Basically, the person asks for something that they want built for them. So basically, it's just a building prompt, and then you randomly get selected to do one. You build the thing for them, and then we do a little tour around of all the different builds. And so Needle had asked for a Mediterranean or Tuscan style villa, and she wanted it to be her endgame home. So I put this together. I'm still very proud of this build. I think it looks really cool. Like, it looks like it could be a real house almost. Yeah, I'm very proud of this. Do a little spin around for you, and then I'll do a quick tour of the inside for you. And one of these trees here. Basically, I just gave her the shell with a basic interior layout. There was no decorations on the inside, so everything in there that you see decoration-wise is hers. So let's go look through here. Little foyer. Yeah, it's super cute. I really like it. There's a nice little living area in here. There's a kitchen over there. Yeah, very, very nice. And then see around here, yeah, there's a nice dining area. I really like this with the cartography tables as the chairs, and of course the classic sunken down. Very nice. And then upstairs there's a couple bedrooms, but the reason, of course, you may have figured it out while we're over here, is because I want to build my mansion, Bman's mansion. I have wanted to do this since I built that one for Needle, but I just haven't come up with a design or idea that I was really happy with. But I sat down the other night and I just kind of played around with a couple different ideas, and I think I've got something that's going to work. So I have gathered lots of different bits and pieces. Ooh, can't wait to do this little bit. But I didn't build the whole thing, and I'm not going to make a schematic for it because I think I've talked about this before. I'm kind of moving out of that era of doing the entire build in creative and then just copy and pasting it over into survival. It kind of takes some of the fun out of it for me. So like obviously I came up with the concept and the idea in creative, but I maybe built 10% of the house. So I'll do the rest with you guys in survival. But let's put some of these boxes down and we'll talk about some of the ideas. So okay, so brick. The style basically that I want to go for is like an English manor type, like a countryside manor that you might find in England. So I've got some bricks and this mud and terracotta, and I have some granite as well too. Yeah, I find those are very nice blocks that go together for this kind of style, especially because I thought about using darker blocks. Like I played around with the idea of doing almost like a Scottish Highlands manor style, that kind of like dark, dreary, but I think it would look odd next to A here, and also it's kind of like it's right on the coast. If you can see the water's right there, and we also just came off of doing a more dreary build on a Graysmere, right? So we're gonna go with these, and then for the base, got some of this pale log, and then I have some other little bits and pieces here that we'll do. I'm very excited to show you guys what I have for the windows because I've been trying to elevate how I'm building, obviously, right? And so if you see over here, these windows, they're just the classic window, right? Works, very effective, but I've come up with an idea. I'm sure it's been done before because it's super simple, but I really like it. And when I was kind of fooling around with some window ideas, it just kind of it fell into place. So I'm going to build kind of just the front, I think, and then I'll bring you back in and we'll talk about it before building the rest. So enjoy the time lapse. You know what? I'm kind of glad that we have these two gray woods now, because like they kind of go good together. And I always liked mixing in this acacia with stone anyway. So now that we have another gray, that's kind of like you can see I made a couple mistakes there. But now that we have another gray that's like able to blend with it, it's quite nice. But okay, here we go. This is the front of my kind of like English style manor. I hope you guys like it. I have always been a fan of the brick, granite, terracotta, and now mud mixture. I think it just looks nice in my opinion. I don't know, and everyone may not agree, but yeah, I really like it. So I brought you guys back in right as I was finishing up here because I have a couple things I want to do with you. Firstly, these windows, I really like these windows, and I kind of had teased it. They inset one, which is very nice. And let's see, do I have... No, I don't. Okay. They inset one, so it kind of adds a little bit of that depth into it. And then from the inside, when we get around to doing the interior, you'll see kind of my plan for what I'm going to be doing. Also, look how organized I am. Are you guys proud of me? Normally, it devolves into chaos, and I'm sure it is about to at any given moment. Okay, let's do this door. Same. So just do some trapdoors around there. The walls connect into it. Very nice. One more, and then on the bottom floor, I did a mangrove door to be like the centerpiece door. But upstairs on this little balcony thing, a spruce door will do just fine. So let's take a look. Oh, hello, little guy. Bam! Get out of here. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, and now the final thing, you may have noticed I have these armor stands. I want to do something kind of funny up here. So with these types of buildings in this little area, sometimes they have, well, most of the time they have very little like ornate bits and pieces, and sometimes that includes a statue or two. So I did a little thing here, and what I'm gonna do is to add onto it that, put on a beautiful Bman head. Hello, Bman. That, okay, and then under poses, this one. And then I want to rotate it to like there, maybe, and then base plate, no. Okay, so if that is 140 degrees, then I'm gonna go over here, do this one, Bman head, oop, do, poses, and do 10, bam, there we are. So now, there they are. I think that's so funny. I love this. Give it back my scaffolding. I'm so bad for losing my scaffolding. Ta-da! There they are. I think that's so funny. What do you guys think? So if we go into Chief Recam up here, yeah, I think it looks really nice. It has a good presence. I think it's different enough from the one that I built for Needle over here that it'll stand out. What I'll probably do is I'll push back a lot of this terrain here and make some nice gardens out front. And then on the back, obviously, this is about as far as it'll go. What I'll do is I'll build up a wall here, and then so there'll be kind of like a nice thing. It will be removed a little bit from the street, up about 2 or 3 blocks. It should be good. And then we'll add some paths going up the opposite sides. But yeah, I really like this one. Well, everybody, here we are. This is the manor. This is kind of what I came up with. As you saw in those little time-lapse bits after I was hanging out with Lonnie, showing him around some of the stuff he hasn't seen from me. I finished the back here. So we'll do a little spin around. So I think this is about as much as we're going to work on here for the episode. I want to do the interior as a whole episode, and I would love to do the rest of the exterior, which would include kind of like the gardens and the backyard kind of area, as another episode. So I think it complements the building that I made for Needle very well. Like I said earlier, I'm probably going to pull this land back and really make some nice English gardens. But yeah, I really like how it came out. The sides are currently empty because I don't know where I want to put some windows, or if I want to put a little extension on the side. I know a lot of these houses have these little like extensions that come off the side, so we'll see how I'm feeling for room on the inside. And then on the back here, yeah, like I said before, we're gonna build a wall up here, so it'll be kind of a bit of a small backyard. It will be kind of patio vibes, not like what I have for Needle here, but the majority of everything will kind of be out the front, and maybe I'll make a nice hedge, and I think it should be nice. Currently on the inside, there is nothing. I think that there's a lot of space. And before we move on to the last little bit of this episode, I wanted to kind of show you what I'm thinking. So these walls need to be too thick, end of story, because, I don't want this brick on the inside, but also the way that we've done the windows doesn't really lend itself well to like a full block. So what we're going to do is we're going to make wallpaper out of these blocks here. So let me just kind of like do this as an example. Oh my goodness, learn to place blocks, And then let me grab some more of these guys. Okay, and those will go there and like that. So basically the walls of this house are going to look like this. And in the different rooms, we'll have different stripes. So obviously this is kind of like mud brick texture will be the combining theme of all the wallpapers throughout the house. But then these like extra strips here, those will be like the defining colors of each room. I think it's going to look really nice. And it's gotten real dark here. I'll have to sleep through the night. Okay, there we are. Yeah, so I think that this is a really good start. I have been wanting to make something here for a really long time, and I've just been having such a hard time figuring out what I wanted to do. For a really long time, I thought I was going to build like a Scottish manor style. It was very dark, very similar to what we have going on at Graysmire, which is actually part of the reason why I ended up building in that style over there, because I loved the block palette and the vibe, but I just couldn't get a design for a larger house that I liked as much as the one that I built for Needle. So this one, I think, works very well. But what I wanted to do, just to end off the episode here, was talk about my future plans. So as far as I'm concerned, Wondermere, as it is done. Graysmire was kind of like the last little puzzle piece that I probably could pull out of that project. Other than building a bunch more trees and things, I'm done building the trees. I don't want to do any more of those big trees. As far as I'm concerned, my base is finished. Of course, there's a couple little interiors here and there, and if I ever tinker away at them, I'll show you them in the video. I have a couple ideas to finish the last couple interiors of the Graysmire, but I'll wait to show you those until I know Muse has done her little room in the castle, if you remember. But so since I think Wondermere is done, the rest of the videos that I'm gonna make in this world will probably not be in Wondermere. Obviously, it's my base. We'll be going back there to collect resources and check up on things, but I'm gonna move my builds away from there because I don't want it to become like it feels oversaturated. It has a vibe and kind of an aesthetic that I really like. And this is the first time I've ever finished a base in in my opinion at least. Maybe I'll take an episode to go look at my previous bases on past worlds, because this is actually our fifth world, and you'll see what I mean when I say that I do not finish bases. It always is a little bit of a disaster zone. But yeah, well, show you kind of what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna do a lot of stuff on the Living Island. I think that the Living Island itself is a little bit underutilized. So obviously we have these mansion area over here. Over here, this is, if you remember, we have a train station at Wondermere. That line terminates here, basically. Skit is making this big bridge to cross the ocean, and we're gonna have to make some kind of station here. So that will be a project that I will take on, probably with Skit, to make a station here. And then another thing that I want to do is over here. This is also a project I've started. So I called this area Little Wondermere. It's basically like a European, like Parisian style area. This is a building that I came up with from scratch, and then this building and this building back there are buildings that I found on Instagram and I took heavy influence from. They're not identical, but it was kind of back in an era when I was trying to get better at this style of building. I think that I'm getting better than what this even is now if I were to make another kind of Parisian style building. But yeah, I really like this area. There's also this building that I made, which is another train station, because the Living Island actually is supposed to have its own little metro system that I've started. And this line here connects back to the World Hall, if you remember, is kind of like the center of our community area. So this is also a place that I could definitely do some episodes in. And then over here on the other side of our wonderful Emerald Park, which is kind of like our central park, is, of course, our industrial area, which we actually went to last episode to fix this melon and pumpkin farm. And this is another one of my projects here. This is the storage room, and it's just a shell, just like our manor right now. It's just a shell, and I kind of had started doing some interior work, and then I stopped. I got sidetracked by other things. So this is also something that we can absolutely do. And then as far as a greater overarching theme of the island, lots of landscaping, lots of roads need to be made. So I can definitely put some work in and take you guys along the ride. Like, for instance, over here, this path needs to be connected over, and then there's actually a rail line that is just on the other side here. We'll start here, and it goes all the way down here to this station, which is just on the other side of Needle's house here. There's actually another portal. It's all set up, ready to go. I built this like a year ago probably, and it's just never been connected over to anything. So that will also be, a big project. So there is a lot to do. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm super happy with how the manor is coming out so far. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the manor, things that we can maybe add to it, make it nice and Bmanified, very Wondermere. If the manor should have a name, I was thinking maybe like Bman Manor or Wondermere Manor. Obviously that's very simple, but yeah, let me know in the comments, and feel free to give a like and subscribe if you're willing. The channel is growing. We have about 60 subscribers, which is kind of fun. Feels like a small family gathering now, so yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.